up, and it allows you to pull this handguard off where you store your battery at. Now, Tokyo Marui designed the FAMAS to hold a 8.4. Actually, I think it originally came out with a 7.2 volt large size battery. You could get an 8.4 in there, but I think originally this gun was released with a 7.2 because the motor. We'll get back to this here in a second. The motor. It's a EG 560, where compared to later Tokyo Marui releases in the rest of the 90s and early 2000s was the EG 1000 turbo. The difference is the EG 560, what they put in this FAMAS, and I think they put it in an M16A1 as well. Tokyo Marui did. It's designed for speed. So with even, like I said, it came with a 7.2 volt. That EG 560, you're going to keep a consistent, pretty high rounds per minute, rounds per second, pretty high turnover rate on that motor, and correlates with your gearbox. The drawback on that is it reduces your options for upgrades significantly, because the EG 560, like I said, it was built for speed and not torque. Does that make sense? Let's see if I can explain this. So it's built to go really fast, but it doesn't have a lot of pull to it. So other Tokyo Marui guns, great internals, and it was easy to quickly upgrade them, dropping an M120 spring in there and some metal bushings, which is a pretty dependable setup right out of the box for Tokyo Marui to upgrade it and get that 400 feet per second going real quick. Not going to be able to do that with the EG 560 Tokyo Marui guns because of the motor's limitations. It's not going to have it'll pull that 120, the M120 spring, but it's going to it doesn't have the torque to pull that bad boy back consistently, and it's probably going to end up burning out an EG 560 on anything over M100 spring. Now I know like some other companies, Cybergun I think's got who is it? Cybergun? A couple other Chinese companies that have FAMAS out on the market right now, an AEG, and they're shooting 400 feet per second out of the box or close to it, over the 350 mark. A lot of these Chinese guns are shooting fairly hot out of the box these days. And I'm not sure, they must have gone with a different motor design or figured out how to get a stronger motor, EG 1000 comparison type motor into their design. But as far as the Tokyo Marui, and the thing about it is 280 feet per second, great hop up, pretty decent accuracy. You're selling BBs out there. You got BBs coming quick. You got the EG 560 just churning out BBs. You don't really need to worry about upgrading the FAMAS anyway, the Tokyo Marui FAMAS. It's going to last you for years. It came out in the early 90s. I would say about 1994. And I'm probably the 6th or 7th owner of this guy. And it's still going. The only thing I've ever done to it is I did open up a gearbox because it was so old, and there was no concerns. I'm just a tinker, and I can't leave good enough alone. So I did get inside it, disassembled it, opened up the gearbox. Really quality gearbox design. What gearbox version is it? Yeah, that's it right there. And what I wanted to do was, since this gun's probably been through 6 or 7 different hands since the early 90s, I wanted to just drop either a stock Tokyo Marui spring back in it, just because you're going to see a little drop off in your FPS, after a few years from using the same springs, and I don't think it had ever been opened up. So I wanted to drop a stock Tokyo Marui spring that I had sitting around back in it, just to keep that FPS up to where it was when it was a baby out of the box, when it was brand new. So I did that, and a lot of people asked me when I was looking into disassembly guides and things for FAMAS. A lot of people said, "What are you doing that for? It's a FAMAS." Kind of the things I just said to you. It's just to quote one guy, it's just a goofy plastic gizmo BB slinger, and it's true. It just slings BBs all day long. Consistently, reliably, very dependable, good to go. So there's no real reason. But anyhow, I said, I just want to keep that spring, put a fresh stock spring in there to keep that FPS at the stock levels and not below it. I'm sure it had a taper. I didn't chrono with, but a gun from the early 90s that's been used by 7 different people for 15 years. Probably going to see a little drop off in the spring, so I did that. Okay, back to the battery. Handguard's off. It was designed to come with a 7.2 large battery. Later on, a lot of people went up to 8.4 and got really good rounds per second, rounds per minute out of that. What I did though is I went ahead and took I put a small connector on there, a mini battery connector, a Tamiya plug. The reason I did that is now I can get a 9.6 mini in there and really get this puppy going. And I wouldn't go over a 9.6 mini, just for concerns of, you know, burning out the motor and things like that. But really tough, man. Okay, put this piece of shit back. Okay, put the safety back in its safe position, and then slide this. You should hear it click. There's the click. And your handguard's on. It's not going anywhere. Good to go. So a 9.6 mini in this bad boy. Real quick, easy update for this old gun. Put a mini Tamiya plug in there. Get a little 9.6 action going. Really see what that EG 560's got. What it's made out of. Put it to its paces, and it keeps up. I'll show you the rate of fire here in a minute after I get this 9.6 mini charged up. What else? You'll notice on mine, I got the barrel cut down now on the F1, the regular standard, you know, Tokyo Marui FAMAS, and the F1, or is it the G1 in real life? The G1? The G1 and the G2. The difference is, I'll talk about Tokyo Marui and then I'll talk about the real one. The difference is, on the F1, it's got this metal, just kind of flimsy metal trigger guard on it. Cool thing about it is that it can slide up, and it's got a little divot here in the handguard, so it'll sit right there and not move around. And the reason they did that is so you can get at the trigger if you got winter mitts on, you know, for inclement weather operations, cold weather operations. So kind of a cool little feature, man. Bend that back around and good to go. It's got some storage space in the pistol grip here, which is cool. You know, you can keep if you wanted to, if you keep one of those little miniature needle nose pliers set up, keep that in there so you can get it to hop up like I recommended earlier. Or whatever else you need, batteries or whatever. Kind of a cool little thing. I imagine on the real one it's for their cleaning kit, I would imagine. Now Tokyo Marui came out with their version of the G2, the G2 FAMAS. There's the G1 and the G2, real life, what the French military uses. And then Tokyo Marui came out with their version of the G2, this being the version of the G1 that Tokyo Marui calls the F1. Tokyo Marui came out with their version of the G2 called the SV, or the super version. Now here's a picture of it. Now you see the difference there is that it has the, you know, the bigger hand guard, trigger guard around there. Kind of cool. And then Tokyo Marui's version doesn't have the grenade adjustment piece on the barrel. Let's talk about that real quick. A longer barrel came out to about here, and the inner barrel ran all the way to the end of the outer barrel, Tokyo Marui. And it's got ridges in it. It's got an adjustable, what do you want to call it, adjustable ring that you push a button and you can slide it up to the barrel and slide it back down. And what that ring was for is to put a put a grenade on the end of it, a French-made grenade, one of those goofy muzzle grenades that they would shoot off. Show you a picture of what I'm talking about. Alright guys, got a 9.6 nunchuck battery fresh off the quick charger. It was a tight fit, but if you wrap it around the inner barrel inside that FAMAS, you can squeeze it into the handguard. So the whole point of this is just to show you guys the round per second, round per minute, the speed these BBs are getting whipped out of this thing by that EG 560 motor we talked about. So, eye protection. Hey guys, eye protection. Flip this puppy to full auto. I got a target just out of sight of the camera here. Check it out. Pretty ridiculous. And then like we talked about, turn it to off, that spring tension button,